Hey, what's going on, everybody? Coach Nick here, and today we are going to go over the dumbbell good morning, one of my favorite exercises for the glutes, for the hamstrings, and actually for your low back in a good way, So here's what's going down with the video today. We're going to go quick how-to tutorial. I'm just going to quickly go over how I would coach this in my fitness classes. We're going to go over the 3 biggest mistakes I see when coaching this, give you a couple cues to fix those, and then at the end, I'm going to give you my #1 ninja trick for making sure we're doing this exercise, or we're feeling this exercise correctly, and we're not squatting this, and we're actually using the hips, and we're getting the most out of our hamstrings, our glutes, and a little bit of the low back. So let me get into the how-to tutorial right now, but real quick, look at me. Fancy microphone. I'm doing things. I'm getting better to my 1 subscriber right now. Doing better. All right, I'm going to move this camera down, and I'm going to go real quick like how I would coach this at the start of my fitness classes here. So I have a new camera, so this isn't great, but I'm going to roll with it. We'll go right there. So here's how I coach this. Just real simple. We're going to hold it like this at the collarbone. I know some people might do like this, like a traditional good morning. You have a barbell on your back. We're just using a dumbbell. I don't like that hold. I find it uncomfortable. I don't see much of a difference between holding it back here and holding it here. And this just seems to be way more comfortable for all of my members. So we're going to hold here. We're going to go little bend in the knees. I don't want to do this stiff-legged. Little bend in the knees. And then we're going to just basically bow down. So knees bent, butt back. Get a little tension in your hamstrings. Squeeze your butt and stand. Hips back, squeeze your butt and stand. And that is the dumbbell good morning. There's not a whole lot to it. I want to go over one real quick thing here that I notice that I don't keep my head up like this. A lot of times I call these dipping birds because I want everything nice and neutral. So when I'm doing this, knees bent, butt back, neck neutral, I'm looking at the ground and then I'm looking forward at the top. So there we go. There's your quick how-to tutorial. If that's all you wanted out of this video, you got it. Follow along. Go watch that again. Do that. Pretty standard. There are some common mistakes that I see with this. So common mistake #1, setup. Unless your program actually calls for a narrow stance or for like a sumo stance, you should just be about hip width. And this is what I primarily do. I think this is the best stance to hit the glutes, the hamstrings, a little bit of the low back in there. So make sure you're just about hip width. Again, maybe they have you do a narrow stance. I do that sometimes. Maybe they have you do a sumo stance. I do that sometimes, but primarily we are just about hip width. So I like that one probably about 80% of the time. So if you're just doing a normal standard dumbbell good morning, boom, hip width with your stance. #2, and that is going to be the depth of how low you go depending on how flexible you are. I typically can't go very low. I coach the majority of my members that I coach are women in their 40s, 50s, 60s. They're pretty flexible through their hamstrings. I am not. Most guys I teach are not. But if you are a woman watching this, make sure you don't, I'm not even going to use the dumbbell. Make sure you don't go like way down here. So I just want to get a little tightness in my hamstrings. Boom, like right there is completely fine, and then I power it up. You might be able to go a little bit further, like maybe you get to where your upper body's like parallel to the ground there, but not below it. Here's where we'd start rounding at the back, we'd start squatting it. So depth is very, very important. I don't need to go all that way down to target the glutes and the hamstrings. So make sure we're not going super low. Mistake #3, this is the biggest one, and here's where I'm going to give you the ninja trick here at the end, and it works wonders. We do not want to squat this movement. We want to hinge through the hips. So we want to be here, butt back, squeeze. That way we get this whole area right here. When we do this and we squat it and we have our knees coming forward, now we just use quads and we just took away from our posterior chain, which is the whole idea of this exercise, to strengthen the back side of the body. So the ninja trick, and you could use a wall, you could use a couch. I use a chair on this. If I see one of my members squatting it, and I just do this, and then I put this chair back like so, and so you gotta reach back with your butt and tap the chair, stand up. Then eventually I'll move it back, boom, and I'll have them do something like that, just so they get that motion down and they're not squatting it. We want to bend in the knees. We don't want to squat it. I'm going to go ninja tip #2, which I completely forgot about here, and that's if you are trying to go a little bit heavier. It's how you would hold the dumbbell. So if you, like this is a 30, And this is a little uncomfortable like this. We have found in my classes to hold like so. I like crossing the arms, pinning it up against your shoulders, and then doing your good morning like that. So that works pretty well if you have a heavier dumbbell. And that is it. That is it. It's a pretty standard move. Just make sure, so I'm going to come a little bit closer, make sure you're not squatting that. That is going to be the biggest thing you want to look out for. So when we do that right, we should be feeling a little stretch in the hammies. Squeeze your butt when you stand, and that is a fantastic exercise for those two parts and for strengthening your low back, which is a very, very good thing if we have some annoying chronic low back pain. So that's it. There's how to do a dumbbell good morning. 3 common mistakes, couple ninja tricks to make that a little bit more effective and a little bit more comfortable if you're holding a heavier dumbbell. So that's it. If you got some value out of this, let me know. Comment below if you tried that and you actually felt that in the right spot. If you like this video, please like this video, comment, subscribe. I have like 1 subscriber at the moment. Help me get 2. Be my 2nd subscriber to the channel. And that's it. I'm out of here. If you want to see, I'm going to put another video up. What's very similar to this? I'm going to go, we'll just go 3 common mistakes for, I think, kneeling. We'll go kneeling push-ups. 3 common mistakes for kneeling push-ups right there. That's it. I'm rambling. Peace.